Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of season 2 here at Brentford. We have some interesting, unexpected and very lucky news to bring to you in a number of areas as we start the day today. Of course, we brought in Johan Wisser last season. We used all of our remaining money to do so, so he is now at the club and on the bench, as you can see here. We've utilised in a number of different areas and we will utilise him in all of those areas throughout the course of this season. All of the youngsters are now back at the club and we'll be looking to send them out on loan in this first transfer window as best we can. The pre-season friendly is winnable, very much so. We have about £7 million available to be won in that area. We've also, unfortunately, only a smaller budget still of about £20 odd million. Probably move it to about 25-ish, but have to factor in wages at Premier League level. So very, very surprised that our transfer budget is as low as it is, considering where we finished last year. That is particularly frustrating, not necessarily part of the luck that I was mentioning a moment ago. With regards to board expectations this year, youth development-wise, that's fine. Brand exposure-wise, a win streak of 3 away games, absolutely. Financially, finish the season with that amount of unspent funds. That might be doable, but to improve the squad, we're probably going to have to spend the majority of it. Long-term wise, I want us to increase the club worth. We've already gone up by 4% since the start of the season, like 4 days ago. Domestic success, we want a mid-table finish, because we finished 8th in the Premier League last year, around a 16 in the FA Cup, and of course, continually, our long-term domestic goal is to finish in the Champions League places in the league. Now, you'll notice that there's continental success as an option here. We want to reach the semi-final. We finished 8th, as I said, in the Premier League last year. Arsenal won the Europa League, and somehow, because of a combination of Arsenal winning the Europa League and the domestic cup winners being who they were, despite finishing 8th, we've somehow managed to luck our way into the qualification playoff round of the Europa League. We might have, provided we can get through those 2 games, European football this season. I absolutely was not expecting that. We have SK Sturm in the qualification. Imagine if we had Midtjylland in the qualification round of the Europa League. That's unexpected. Didn't know we were going to get that. Another giant stroke of luck. Remember, we had all of those youth players that I had literally 0 transfer and wage budget to try and sign. We thought we were going to lose. As I loaded into Season 2, I had one final scout report. The one where they say, I've reached the end of my scout report, either you sign them now or they're gone. Well, I must have started the search late last season, and I was able to sign the majority of those players. I didn't quite realise what was happening when I looked at the first scout report, so unfortunately I've lost a couple of the Norwegians, because I was a bit confused at the time, backed out of that scout report, and subsequently it was lost. You can't go back in and view that scout report again once you get that final "I've reached the end of my thingy" message. So I was able to sign the Danes. So we have Felix Bartelson, a goalkeeper, 6'2", 15 years of age, 72 diving already, 63 rated. We don't need another goalkeeper. We are set with regards to our goalkeeper. Maybe it's got 1 star. 1 star though certainly needs improving. We've a left back, Noah Fredriksson, 60 rated, but can play left back and centre back. And judging by those stats, certainly, although his dribbling's pretty decent, he looks like a centre back to me, 6'6". So I'm going to change him to a central defender. Just the absolute obvious thing to do there. Philip Rasmussen, 63 rated at 15. Left mid, right wing. Got some pace, although the sprint speed certainly could do with improving. Technically, still needs improving as well, but is growing nicely. And we're continually training him as a wide midfielder. What I may do now is actually try and focus on some of his other stats. Inverted midfielder might be the way to go next to try and improve some more of those. And then we've also Constantine Jurgensen, who is also a winger, although needs the acceleration boost, not the sprint speed boost, and has 64 finishing and 64 shot power. So looks like a striker to me, although does have Cam on his positioning, and we do have now a couple of other strikers in the offing. So I'll change him to a Cam because I called him up at the end of last season, and you guys were keen on changing the position of where are you? It was Nikolai Andreasen. We're training him as a striker now. I had initially made the decision to train him as a Cam, but you guys asked for him to be trained as a striker, so he is now being retrained as a striker. You can see we have a very full squad, and there are a lot of young players here that are going to go on the loan list, are already on the loan list, and or transfer list. The key areas I'm looking to improve in at the moment, obviously we don't need Ben Foster anymore. Centre-back to replace Pontus Jansson. Great shout from someone in the comment section to perhaps go and sign James Tarkovsky at Burnley. Former Brentford player, English domestic, 82 rated, so would be our highest rated player. Would be all of my current transfer budget though, so I'm going to need to move some players on before we can bring anyone else in. I would like another left back too, and at present Centelles is my go-to, but we do have a couple of potential fullbacks in our squad, like Thompson, who could potentially grow a little bit more. I don't know what his actual potential is, but acceleration of 76, sprint speed of 80, agility of 72, training technically, and he could be alright. He could be alright if we just train him as a defensive wide back. He could be pretty handy. So I might hold off on the left back signing and see what Dominic Thompson's like as a backup. Obviously, Rico Henry's been playing almost every game. Every game at left back for us so far in this save. But we'll make that change there. Put Thompson into the rotation side. Obviously, Johan Wisser, as we mentioned, is in now, but Damsgaard will keep his first team spot for now. So the 11 at present isn't changing. We're hoping to raise some extra money, hopefully as much as possible from this first pre-season tournament. We do get a win in the first game, which is great. Like I say, up to £7 million available from this first pre-season tournament. So we're going to try and maximise that as best we can. Bid for Josh De Silva from AC Milan. This is where this save's going to be different. He was our second best player last year, but that's AC Milan. And in most other saves, I'd be like, I like Josh De Silva. He's one of my best players. I'm not selling him. AC Milan have come in. And yes, they only finished in a Europa League spot last season in this save. But it's AC Milan. And we're Brentford. And Josh De Silva, I'm almost certain, would want to go to AC Milan. And we owe him the opportunity to try and negotiate something with AC Milan. But because he's such an important player to us, I'm not going to let him go on the cheap. But they appear to only want to pay a minimal fee for him. Now, I have to be honest. He's 79 rated at 22 and had an exceptional year last year. I will not sell him on the cheap. I'm willing to negotiate at AC Milan. But if you're continually only going to offer me £2 million over his valuation, I'm not going to sell him on the cheap. Pre-contracts agree. Oh, that's Johan Wisser coming in. That's fine. I think it was the right thing to do to negotiate. No! Spurs? Why would Tarkovsky come back to Brentford rather than going to Spurs? Did they finish second in the league last year? Frederick Olsen, a loan bid. Marseille, for a year. Yes, goodbye. 70 rated. Hopefully he can grow significantly. Jensen, Real Sociedad. That one we can turn down. I'm happy to turn that one down. And another bid from Augsburg for Jensen as well, which we shall also reject. Neither of those two sides, you'd say, would be a step up for Jensen. AC Milan certainly is a step up for De Silva, but they weren't willing to pay what our valuation was. And I think I'm quite within my rights to want to get a little bit more than just £26 million for a player that is already late 70s, looking to be early 80s, and just 22 years of age. Pontus Jansson has a dead leg in his calf, a calf muscle injury, and he's out. I don't know why the injury would worry fans. He is only, it was only for a few days. A loan bid for Weaver from Levante, I will reject. I'm wanting Weaver to be involved in our first team squad this year, especially if we're going to have European football. Olsen loaned out to Marseille. He should grow quite well out there. That should be a great move for him. Janssen is significantly tired, or unfit. That's probably the best way to phrase it. So won't be available for this one, but Ethan Pinnock can come in. Pinnock is transfer listed, and we are looking for a new centre-back. I was hoping that would be James Tarkovsky, but it very much looks like he's going to go to Tottenham, and I can't compete with Tottenham. So I could have brought him. Absolutely, I could have brought him, and he would have signed for me rather than Tottenham, because they always choose the user over someone else. But it's Tottenham. If it were Football Manager, he'd choose Tottenham. If it were real life, he'd choose Tottenham. He's gone to Tottenham. We'll remove him from the shortlist. Victor Nelson is still an option for me. But if you guys have any other suggestions for a centre-back, then do let me know. Prize money added from that group stage will go into the transfer budget and be added to it. And hopefully we can improve from there. Semi-finals now of this tournament. Bids for Ethan Pinnock. Athletic Club de Bilbao and Real Sociedad both interested. Release clause of 7.9 million. I will try and get... I'm not going to be able to get his release clause, and I know he's 28, but I'll try and get about 5.5 for him if they'll stretch. If Athletic Club won't stretch, no, we're just going to have to accept what people come in for him with. That's fine. Pinnock can go for 4.5-ish. Sociedad accepted a bid just over 4.6. So hopefully he'll sign one of those and Pinnock will be on his way, but that would leave us short of a centre-back, at least short of a first-team quality centre-back. Anyway, we do have some youngsters there we could call upon. We win the semi-final on pens against Montpellier. We will play VfL Wolfsburg in the final of this pre-season tournament. Another chunk of money added to the transfer budget. Thank you. Really surprised that our budget is as low as it is, to be completely honest. After getting 150 million prize money for finishing where we did in the league last year, and real surprise it's still only as low as it is. The owners obviously don't want to put any extra money in. Canos has completed his development schedule. Pinnock has gone to Sociedad, which is good. That's the more expensive of the two. Sørensen wants to play. It'll take some hard work though, Mass, to get into the starting lineup. Fredriksson has completed his change from left back to centre back, which is great. I imagine that he will shoot up in rating, and does so to 63, and then we'll train him as a defensive centre-back. In fact, ball play, his physicals don't really need training, do they? So if I can train his technical stats defensively, and then his dribbling, yeah, I want to concentrate on his slide tackle as well. His stand tackle is already 66. We'll do that one first. That's only going to take a week. He might grow exceptionally well this year, Noah Fredriksson. And then Constantine Jurgensen, his change to a cam is going to go through. 57 rated, stays 57 rated, which is frustrating. We'll try and train his passing and dribbling stats then throughout the course of the next few weeks. That's 7 weeks there. We'll up his weak foot as well, and he should grow quite nicely too. Promising youngsters. Now you'll have to let me know in the comment section as well where to send my youth scouts for this season, because obviously we've done the... we still get some growth out of Canos. Still get some growth out of him. Train his passing stats, actually. We can still... We've looked at the Scandinavian countries. I think we should look a little bit further afield now. We lose on penalties in the final, unfortunately, to Wolfsburg. But we should get some prize money for being a losing finalist, I think. Indeed, we do. No, we don't, actually. Oh, okay. It was just an email telling me about the tournament. Right then. So, we have 35-ish million pounds available to spend in this transfer window. And I'm looking for a centre-back, lads, and I'm looking for a left-back. Centre-back, certainly first. Victor Nelson is my current only centre-back on my shortlist. I could maybe sign Philip Billing and train him as a centre-back. That might work. His tackling stats aren't spectacular, but at 6'6", maybe moving him to centre-back could be a proper option. And he's only £9 million. That might work really well. Really well. Not quick, but he's got all the physicality you'd need for a centre-back. Okay, so Victor Nelson or Philip Billing for centre-back. Seems like the obvious go-tos there at the moment. Moving forward, we'll head to that game against Sturm, and I'll play that. And we might play Leeds as well, although I do want to leave enough I do want to leave enough time for you guys to get your suggestions in and for me to be able to adequately scout people. Porto, loan to buy. No for Weaver for that. Maybe... I don't know where Porto came last year, but they are a big club. Maybe I should have contemplated accepting that. You'll have to let me know in the comment section if players from... if clubs from, like, not massively recognised leagues come in. Like, obviously, if it's PSG, Monaco, Lyon, or Bayern, Dortmund, Leverkusen, obviously the Spanish clubs go without saying, then and Italian clubs, I'd have to look and contemplate selling. But for clubs like Porto or any of the other Portuguese clubs, Benfica or Sporting, if they come in, do you want me to negotiate there as well, or are we able to just reject those bids and not worry about it? It's up to you. Like the clubs like Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, etc. as well. Levante are in for Josh De Silva. That one I'm happy enough to turn down. Gonzalo Melero is the player they offered there. Levante I'm happy enough to turn down, but I'm sure you guys can understand why we went for accepting the AC Milan bid. Atlanta United, almost said Atalanta there, have come in for Joel Valencia. I'm quite happy to accept that. We don't want him at the club. We're not going to use him. We've signed Johan Wissa now, so we don't need him at the club anymore. Right, I think, unless there's anything, we've obviously had a lot of talking in this opening part of the video, and I apologise for that, but there's been a lot to talk about. So, I will advance now towards that game against Sturm. If there's anything else to bring to you transfer window-wise, then I shall bring it to you. If not, I will see you, that's Valencia, transfer talks breaking down. Brilliant. If not, I shall see you in the Europa League qualification round against Sturm. Can't quite believe I'm saying that after finishing 8th, as Wilfried Zaha signs for Roma. Kalmar have come in for Nikolai Andreasen. It's a loan to buy, though, so I will delegate that to just a loan. Still not got his position changed through yet, but it shouldn't be too long before that is confirmed. I haven't done really any training, so my sharpness and match fitness are going to be all over the place at the minute. Basel have bid from Aspects Jurgensen. 22, 70 rated. He's probably pretty decent, to be fair, Sørensen. But do we focus on some of those youngsters that are coming through that are probably going to be just as good, if not better, in a season's time and will probably grow quicker? Yes, I think we focus on those youngsters. So I will accept that bid of, what was it, 2.2? I'll accept that bid of 2.2. And he'll find his way potentially off to Switzerland to play for Basel. Kalmar, have accepted the agreement of a 1-year loan for Nikolai Andreasen over there to them. So that's going to happen. Josh De Silva says he wants to play in the next game against Graz, and absolutely he will do. We'll play this with our full strength 11, hopefully putting us in a strong position to then sim the next leg, basically. And then we'll have Leeds at the end of the episode. I don't know whether to... do we play Leeds or not? I might just end it after this game. I want to be able to ensure that I can fully scout all of the players that you guys are going to suggest in the comment section, so I might have to hold off. We might have to hold off, but if we get a strong result here, then we can easily sim the second leg in the next episode, and then play 3 of the other 4 Premier League games in the month of August. Right then. European football. Yuka puts in a tackle. And we're quickly on the front foot. Damsgaard is in here and turns the man. Oh, it's a good save by Siebenhandel to deny us the opening goal after just a few moments. This is an away leg, of course. Can you imagine that away goals count in qualification rounds as opposed to actual latter stages? Ivan Toney doesn't score enough headers for us, to be completely honest, but he has destroyed the defender there. It's a bit of a height mismatch in the first place, and up he goes, and that is a top draw header. We lead early on. We need to cut back here and look for more support. Jensen will look for Damsgaard. Can he bring that down? He can. Can he finish it? No. We're going to get a pen? No, he ended up on the floor in a heap. A corner again. Jensen with the delivery. It's Rico Henry, I think, that was underneath that. That would be another corner. Again, rather obviously, we'll look for Ivan Toney. And again, Ivan Toney looks to find the far corner. Can't find it on this occasion. To Silva is left-footed. Onyeka's right-footed, but can't shoot to save his life. Christopher Ayer isn't going to shoot. Tony's in, though. Go on, Ivan. Go on, Ivan. 2 for Tony. 2 for Brentford. Hielander to Ingolic. Back inside to Gorenk Stankovic. Kitishvili across to De La Rosa, who's held me off well, but shoots wide. Their first chance of the game, Sturm Graz. De La Rosa is literally the only man that is threatening for them at all. They do go straight to him as soon as they win possession and try and build something through him. But that's all that they've mustered so far. And we've already got 2 and still look dangerous for more. Might be adding more. Matthias Jensen's in. I'm just trying to keep the run going rather than trying to do anything with it at the moment. Pull that back. Onyeka and Burmo. Buried. 3-0. And the quality of goal here is very high. Go on, Ivan. You're in. Let's get Ivan Toney a first half hat-trick, shall we? Not that long. Accelerate away. Settle himself. Bury the ball. Lovely done. Lovely job. Really well done. All in the same sentence. Lovely done. 4-0. There is plenty of room out wide here from Burmo. Inside. Perfectly weighted for Jensen. And here arriving is Josh De Silva. We know what his left foot's like. Sturm Graz do too. Steven Handel dealing with it. Must have known that we were going to go across goal with that. Will that fall free for me? It will. Onyeka with a nice ball around the corner. Ivan Toney into that gap. And the man at the back post. Josh De Silva. Might not be scoring with his left foot, but still scoring with his head. A 5-goal away leg lead. We can definitely sim that second leg in tomorrow's episode, can't we? Søndergaard coming off the bench, and Johan Wisser will enter the fray for the first time. Onyeka to Johan Wisser. His first touch of the ball for me. He's taken it past someone really nicely. De Silva will find Søndergaard. And Burmo will look for Tony at the back post. Wasn't the best of crosses, to be fair. Onyeka to Johan Wisser. Worth a go. Was moving, but the keeper dealt with it. Nice header. Tony through the gap. Go back out wide. And Wisser will deliver. I can't quite get there. Labusa nearly headed it into his own net, though. 5-0 the lead currently, with the chance to make it more. Which we very nearly did. Ivan Toney with a header well saved. Christopher Ayer. Erle Søndergaard. Comfortable save on his weak side. Wisser. Side to Onyeka. Go all the way out wide to Mbermo. And then look for Søndergaard. That's the plan. There he is. Oh, Ola, you are spectacular. He is so good for a player rated so low. That's such a clean strike. Brilliant assist from Ivan Toney, but take nothing away from the finish. Ola Søndergaard in the 77th minute makes it 6-0. This will be our biggest win of the save so far in a game that we didn't know that we were going to be able to play, or weren't expecting to have on our radar. A European game when finishing 8th. How have we locked our way into that? Into Søndergaard again. Johan Wisser's making moves, but here's Josh De Silva. Wisser's there. Not Wisser. Yes, Wisser. Oh, Johan, welcome to the club. What a way to say hello to his new fans. Scoring a 7th away from home against Sturm Graz. And that might well be the best of the bunch. Had some quality finishes today, but that was a touch of class from our new signing. That's beautiful. If he can do that many a time in the Premier League, he might become a first-team regular. 85th minute, 7-0. Through to Mbermo. Tony, Mbermo's gone again. Oh, he's got the pace. He's got the pace. 8. I don't know if I've ever scored 8 in a game before. I don't think I've ever done that before. 8-0. This is what happens when Premier League quality meets This is the sort of scoreline we might see a lot of in the Europa Conference League. From teams like Spurs and Roma, etc. that are involved in the Europa Conference League this year in real life and on FIFA 22 when it comes, we might see some sizable scorelines there. But we've certainly had a sizable scoreline here. That, I think, is my biggest ever career mode victory. Maybe. You guys have a better memory than me, but I can't recall winning 8-0 before. Or even winning by 8 goals before, regardless of what the actual scoreline was. Sørensen sold. Another offer for Valencia. Higher than previous. He rejected the bid from Atlanta, didn't he? Hopefully he'll accept that one. And De Silva says, thanks for listening. I think I can quite safely say great performance. Great performance. So, we'll sim that second leg, shall we? Bloody hell. Then Leeds, Villa, West Brom and Cardiff remain in the month. As we push forwards to football later down the line. That will do us for today. Feedback in the comment section. Transfer suggestions, please, in the comment section. I'm going to save it here. I've just got enough time to edit it before I go live at 4 for the F1. Or for an F1 stream, F1 2021. Link in the description to the Twitch channel and the second channel if you want to see that. Make sure you're subscribed here, though, on the ChesnoidGaming channel so you don't miss out on more of this. I'll see you tomorrow.